I'm Robin Lundberg, joined now by former NBA star, current analyst for TNT, Chris Webber. But Chris, before we get into hoops, I know you've always been about more than basketball, and recently you became a part of a group that set up a $100 million private equity cannabis fund that will invest in companies led by minority entrepreneurs pursuing careers in the cannabis sector. In history, minorities, particularly black people, have been arrested at a higher rate for marijuana crimes. And now that that's become legal in more and more places, including where I live in New Jersey, and is becoming a big business. Is your interest here in making sure those who have felt the negative effects the most aren't behind the eight ball when it comes to profiting in the business aspect of it?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And I think, yeah, that's definitely part of it. One is to try to empower those that have been negatively targeted by unfair laws and policing. And then I think second is just to invest in good people who don't have access. Maybe they don't have access to lending, SOPs, infrastructure. And this is a way, unlike I think we've seen in any other kind of genre of business, that focuses on being inclusive and making sure that people don't get left behind. And so, yes, it is about kind of helping repair some of those wrongs of the past, but also empowering people and just trying to have successful businesses inspire individuals and let them inspire their communities.
What was it about cannabis in particular that got you interested? Was it simply the timing because it's on the upward trend here?
Well, a couple things. Yeah, I don't think we've seen an emerging business like this. Maybe you go to tech. Before tech, maybe you go transportation. Maybe you go science, some other things. So it's a new emerging trend. But secondly, I really concentrate on the fact that for so long there's been a negative campaign against it. And I think once people start to see the healing properties of it, where you talk about sleep management, mood management, inflammation, pain management, other things, that this is going to be part of our society now, because it has been for thousands of years. And so I just see a resurgence in the use of cannabinoids for healing. And so I think we're just at the tip of it. And so for that reason, as an athlete, as well, and to have alternatives to medicines that aren't natural, I'm excited about.
Like the saying goes, use responsibly. Right now, shifting gears a
Yes.
little bit to to the NBA itself. Now, you get to see all these teams, at TNT. There's obviously the Lakers, the defending champs, the Brooklyn Nets. They're emerging. Who do you think is the best team in the NBA right now?
Well, I think that's tough. You'd have to say the Lakers before AD, has been hurt. But right now, I really think even though KD's been out 5 games with the hamstring, I really think you still have to go between the Clippers and Brooklyn right now. And when they have Brooklyn has those three guys in the lineup, they're awesome. And so I would just say, I expect it to be Lakers and Brooklyn at the end. But right now, Clippers and Brooklyn are playing some pretty good basketball.
Which of those three Brooklyn guys scares you the most if you're the opposing team?
KD, of course. I mean, his height, defensively, what he could do, his height, the fact that he can shoot, and then you have to fear Harden just as much. And that's, I would say Durant, but it depends on any given night, because those three are just that lethal. Lethal. Definitely, Durant and Harden are two of the best scorers this game has ever seen.
You were big, who could run the floor. You could really pass the ball, face up, jump shot, touch around the rim. And I would have you in the Hall of Fame. Does it bother you at all that you're not in the Hall?
I think that's a great question. So I think, the honest answer is, yes, it has at times. But then, you have to remember what it's about. You played the game not to be in the hall. You played it because you loved it. Anytime you have people, Charles Barkley or Isaiah Thomas or Dr. J and others saying, man, you should be in, like, to me, that's what I worked for and I dreamed about. And so, that has comforted me since, 6 years ago when I felt, I should have been in. But at the same time, the reason why, it'll be an honor to be in there is because I get to thank the people that helped me. The AAU coaches, all of them. You help them in certain ways and, you thank them in certain ways. But I mean, really get to thank them and let them know and make them part of a moment. That's all. I just wanted to do that before I lost anyone that was so pivotal in helping my career. But about 3 years ago, I got tired of it, and I made a call, and I had my own ceremony, and I let them all know. But that was really the impetus behind everything. I just wanted everybody to shine.
A lot of those people got have impact, including some of your teammates. One of your former teammates thriving in a coaching role right now, Juwan Howard at Michigan. I know you recommended him for that job. What about him has made him so successful, you think?
Yeah, when I recommended people just said, I mean, they were doubting him. Oh, get Patino, bring this person, as if we needed someone outside of Michigan to do a Michigan man's job. Anyway, that's just my little rant. He's doing an awesome job, man. I mean, he sleeps and dreams this. He's not satisfied. He'll say thank you on a text, and when you're talking to him, but you hear his wheels ticking already on the next move or the next play. I will tell you this: he's proud of his guys, and that's what I am. So Juwan's a great coach. Yes, I already knew that. He's a great motivator. He means it. I already knew that. But his fellas, his team, those kids are doing it. It's not about Juwan. Those kids are doing it. We got some of the toughest big men in the game. I mean, they're dunking on you, rebounding. Our guards are tough as nails, shooting the three, playing defense 94 feet. I'm excited that he was smart enough to get some kids with some heart in there because they got heart. So I'm fans of the team. I mean, Juwan's good, but he has some great individuals on his team, and that's what he'll tell you first.
What about what you're doing now? I saw you address some critiques the other day, and everyone's a critic, right? From your playing days to your broadcasting days. What do you take to heart, and what are you working at when it comes to your craft specifically?
I work on everything. I think the only thing that I took to heart in the interview is that, I'm trying to be a little snide kid. Like, talk to me, do an interview. I'm in this business, so I know what it's like to interview. I've been interviewed since the age of 12 professionally by those that do this for a living. So when the kid came at me like that, it was, you can ask me questions without trying to take little shots. It was very high schoolish. And so that's what that interview was about. But as far as any criticism, everything's fair. I'm built for it, so I could care less. So I try to get better in every day and everything I do, whether it's the cannabis fund, whether it is other businesses I have, whether it's working with kids in the community. You always try to get better, but you're not going to just play me because this generation is used to hiding behind the internet saying what they want. That's not going to happen. We're going to have a discussion.
Speaking of discussions, I know you're teaching a course at Morehouse, right? An athlete activism course. How proud are you of the current athlete, the players in the NBA, for the way that many of them have risen up, in recent times?
I think they've taken the mantle of John Carlos, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Jackie Robinson, Arthur Ashe, and others, and have just taken it to another level because of the use of social media, them being empowered and strong. So, to me, it would be, Colin Kaepernick or LeBron James and the great things that he's done off the court. If it wasn't for the generation before, and LeBron and Kaepernick being a student of the game have already honored that. And so hopefully I'm a conduit to this younger generation, letting them know how wonderful the older generation was, how hard the sacrifices were of the past. And then to honor the young guys and say, wow, look what they've done and taking it forward, this new mantle. So I really, just want to make sure we honor both the older generation and the younger generation that's doing an incredible job.
And is that part of the reason, you have, started what you've done with cannabis here to help, the next generation? I mean, is that in the same light?
Well, put it like this: since the tax laws, the cannabis laws in the 30s, Black and brown people were arrested 4 to 5 times more. Today, it's the same. And you look at the participation; it's less than 4%. Look at any industry. What is the participation of Black and brown people in it? So, yeah, I'm proud to be part of this because Black and brown people have been left out of every industry in America. Every single industry. Every single industry. So yes, I'm proud as hell to make an impact in a new industry that has so much potential and to be able to bring Black and brown people in. I thank God for the opportunity and hopefully I do a good job at it.
And what do you see as the next step there?
Just what we've already been doing. Again, it's about my partner as well, Jason Wild. He's one of the brightest minds in the business, not only through what people can see in the success of him business-wise, but his passion and his heart. And so we've executed a plan. We've started already getting in the process. And so hopefully it'll be great bringing people into the business that don't have experience, to bring training, to bring infrastructure for those that have businesses and want to go to the next level, to support those that are right at the top, but to make sure that there's an infrastructure for people with equity licenses, without, but to be inclusive. And so my partner, this is something he's been doing for a long time. So great that we can lean on his SOP and his business acumen. And it's great that I have access to these individuals because I'm one of them in their community. And so together we're teaming up, and we started to make a little noise, but we have a lot of work to do. So right after this interview, I'm sure I'll be on the phone and hopefully talking to some great people about reaching their dreams and seeing what they have to offer.
Again, Chris Webber, part of a group that set up a $100 million private equity cannabis fund that will invest in companies led by minority entrepreneurs pursuing careers in the cannabis sector. C. Webb, really appreciate your time.
Stay warm out there in Jersey, my friend.